Alright, so my most anticipated superhero movie of the year 2023, the newest Guardians of the Galaxy movie, newest James Gunn, the last James Gunn directed movie inside the MCU, has dropped last week. I checked it out about 3 days ago. I have 3 days to consider my thoughts on this, and today I'm going to give you my review on it. But before I do that, please make sure to subscribe, hit the like button, hit the bell, and comment down below. What did you guys think of Guardians Volume 3? Everybody loves the Guardians. I mean, it's pretty much a given that the Guardians of the Galaxy are one of the most amazing superhero teams of all time. And so, this is pretty much the biggest anticipated movie of the year. And so, I was just so excited for it. I don't know if you guys haven't seen it. Are you excited for it? Technically, if you haven't seen it, click off this video. This is going to be a spoiler video. I cannot stray away from talking without spoilers on this video. So, I am sorry in advance if you want to watch my reviews. I'm going to have a short up in a couple of days that just talks about my spoiler-free review. So if you want to know a spoiler-free review, if you have not seen it yet, go check out that one. With that said, Guardians Volume 3 is easily the best superhero movie since Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. I'm sorry. I know a lot of you don't like that movie. The movie that me personally, I went with a friend to go see it. I had fun. I don't think she did, but I really did enjoy that movie, and so this is the best movie since that. Speaking, since that movie, we've had about 8-10 superhero movies and shows, and this is easily the best of it. In case you haven't been following my channel, I have been suffering from real bad superhero fatigue. I have hated so much MCU and Marvel stuff that they have thrown at us that going into every superhero movie, I am extremely nervous because I don't know if I will enjoy myself. This one, I had a little bit more hope because it was James Gunn directed, and so going into this one, like I said, best superhero movie since Multiverse of Madness. And getting off of the positives, obviously it's the Guardians of the Galaxy. I was, I think, about 7, 8, whenever the first movie came out, and so I pretty much, for 10 plus years, have been living with these Guardians. These Guardians were pretty much, since I've been alive, been there. And I went to see the first one in the theaters. I didn't see any of the other movies they were in the theaters, but I did see Guardians 3 in the theaters. But these characters have been in my life for so long, and so they are so special to me, and I love them, and they are even better in here. Obviously, we gotta start off with the emotions. Like I said, spoiler video. If you have not clicked off yet, here's your warning. 3, 2, 1. The emotions in this movie, honestly, were kind of a mixed bag for me, if we're being honest. On one hand, on the small moments of the film, where it was, like, Star-Lord and Rocket, the best friends. Just the small moments like that, small moments where you think a character is gonna die, you get the emotions, you feel those. But if I'm being honest, heading into the finale, don't necessarily think that necessarily worked, because the whole thing is the Guardians do this mission and then they disband at the end. And I don't necessarily think that worked, because instead of it just being all these smaller emotions, that grand scheme into the big one, that was awesome. And here we get to the end of it where I'm just like, okay, yeah. The Guardians break up. Okay. That's okay. And we get a new Guardians team. Okay. And honestly, it could have been better. And the honest premise of this movie, it kind of felt a little small scale. When we get to the grand scheme of things, when they're fighting the High Evolutionary, blowing up planets, that really worked. That felt the stakes. I felt the stakes. I felt the death. But honestly, this to be the mission that the Guardians break up on, I don't really feel like that necessarily worked for this kind of context. If it was a completely different mission, where maybe people died, I would feel those emotions, but nobody died. And I felt the stakes, yes, but I don't feel like the stakes were big enough for the Guardians to just be like, okay, peace out, Rocket, you're the captain. And so those emotions didn't necessarily fix it for me. Now on to the positives. I did like the smaller emotions, like I said. The performances of the characters. Chris Pratt, I love Chris Pratt. He has great interactions with everybody. Dave Bautista was a character in the first Guardians that I was always like, okay. To Guardians 2, Guardians 3, the holiday special. He is a fantastic character, and I love him, and he had a great story arc here. Everybody in this movie is great, and everybody in this movie has their time to shine as a character arc. Whether it's Rocket and his baby Rocket character arc, whether it's Star-Lord and his character arc about losing someone he loves, if it's about Drax, he even gets a little bit of a redeeming character arc in the end, and I feel like that really worked for the characters. James Gunn cares about these characters, and he makes these characters have their own time to shine and their own little emotions, and like I said, the small little emotions is what gets to you in the end, the heartfelt, tiny little emotions about where these characters do throughout the film really worked. The film is also pretty funny, mainly due to the character interactions. James Gunn is so good at forming a team and having that team have some of the funniest monologue ever. I mean, I rewatched The Suicide Squad yesterday. I absolutely love that movie. That movie is a 10 out of 10, mainly because of what James Gunn does best, and it's clearly prominent here. It was a bit lacking within the first, say, half hour, but when we get to, like, when the team goes on the first mission, me and the girl I was with were just dying laughing. I was dying laughing because these character interactions are absolutely stunningly good. The villain of the movie is absolutely terrifying. I wanted to go in there, I wanted to take a sledgehammer and knock that stupid robot head off its body. It made me so mad because he was done very well. The whole thing here is Rocket he was an experiment from the sky, and the sky did terrible, terrible things to animals, and in the end he was just like, okay, I'm just gonna kill people because they didn't do what I want. And it's just terrible, and he's played very good by, I'm not gonna say his name because I'm gonna butcher his name, but he has played very, very, very good throughout this film. I absolutely love that villain. He's probably the best Guardians villain. He's terrifying, he has a presence. What he does in this movie is diabolical. It really works for me. The action here is also quite well. In the end of the movie, this is not a Guardians movie where I felt like, big CGI battle. This is a movie where I wanted to know what happened, where I was on the edge of my seat, because not only the emotions, and not only the characters, and not only the threat from the villain, but the action is very quite well. People are saying, the hallway scene, the hallway scene. And at first I was like, this is the hallway scene people are talking about? This is the hallway scene people are talking about. That scene is awesome. It's got everything you want from it. I absolutely loved the hallway scene. I think it's epic and amazing and just hands down really good. This movie is easily the best movie since Multiverse of Madness. I love the characters. I love the action. The villain is great. There's a clear threat here. There are some things I have mixed about it, and there are a couple negatives that I had about the movie, but overall, this is a solid return for the Guardians. It makes superhero movies fun again, because that's what James Gunn does. I have not had fun watching a superhero project since Multiverse of Madness. This one, I had so much fun watching, because I love these characters, I love the emotions, I was on the edge of my seat, and it really, really works there for me. On to a couple of things in the mix section. Pacing. Pacing here is a bit off. We start out the movie with Rocket, and he instantly gets attacked and he's gonna die. So throughout the entire movie, Rocket is just severely underutilized. It's baby Rocket that has his time to shine. So we get into the movie, and almost instantly we don't have Rocket. And that's more of a negative for me. The mixed part was the pacing. I'll get back to the Rocket thing in a minute. So the pacing was basically, he's just attacked, and so they go on this mission, and the whole mission is to try to save Rocket, and it's just a bit weirdly paced, in my opinion. When it starts out really weird. When it gets into its groove, it's good, it's a fun adventure, and then when we get to the third act, it's one of the better MCU third acts of the last couple of years. I really did like that. Let's talk about the Rocket thing now. Rocket, severely underutilized in this movie. I love how Rocket always has his chemistry with Peter Quill. Always makes me laugh. I was severely missing that in here. Of course, I didn't want Rocket to die. I was on the edge of my seat throughout the entire movie. But it would have been nice to at least have like just a little 20 minutes before that happened to have some Rocket Bannister, to have it to where there's even more stakes for me. I really did enjoy Rocket, baby Rocket's character. I think his background was done really well in this movie. Adult Rocket was severely underutilized in this film. Like I said, the emotions kind of a mixed bag for me. The end didn't really satisfy me, but the little emotions throughout the way really did work. And so, fix a couple of problems here and there within this movie. I do think it has potential to be a great MCU movie. Has it cured my MCU fatigue? Has it cured my superhero movie fatigue? No, because it's James Gunn, and James Gunn always knows how to deliver with his characters. But I did have fun with this, and it's so nice to actually have fun with a superhero movie for a change. That is why Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is going to, don't kill me, a B+. I know, it's pretty low, but it's one of those movies that I will enjoy. It's just not one of those movies that are absolutely my top 10. It's only number 17 on my ranking. The girl I with when we went to dinner, she looked at it and she's like, I don't approve, and it kind of hurt. But it's a good ranking in my opinion, because my rankings aren't necessarily good. But once the Marvel come out, I will have a full video ranking of it. In the next couple of days, I will have an MCU trilogy ranking, and I will have a James Gunn ranking. So I'm so excited for all these videos to come out to you guys. So thank you guys for clicking on this video, and make sure to subscribe to join the Nerd Army. Peace out.